We are back with Jenn, who married Captain America 3 times and just killed more people in the MCU than Wanda Maximoff in our last video. But we were going to talk about 2025 and Marvel and all of the releases they've had. What have they had that have come out this year? We've had Daredevil Born Again, and we've had...
half of it, first half.
Yeah, Ironheart,
Yes.
and we've had Captain America New World Order, and we've had the Thunderbolts, and we've had the Fantastic Four.
Yes.
So,
And a few animation series, but
yeah, no, and I was watching some of those. It's difficult to keep up with everything. I've watched a few of those, but like,
yeah. I plan to watch Eyes of Wakanda because I know the director's amazing, but I haven't yet.
is that Ryan Coogler?
Yes.
He's brilliant.
We just saw The Sinners, yes.
Oh yeah, and like my favorite Marvel movie of all of them is Black Panther.
And did he do just that one? I
think he did
both.
Wakanda Forever,
I think
and
he
I
did-
think he was a producer on
Yes.
Ironheart.
No, he's a genius. He's a
Yeah.
genius. I just the animation ones I kind of tend to, but I have it on my list.
So we've got the 5 flagpole ones.
Yes.
So what's your ranking of them?
I think you forgot Thunderbolts.
No, I didn't.
Oh, you said that?
No, I
Sorry.
said that. I
It's the
said
beer.
that.
It's the beer. It's the beer.
How much beer have you...
I mean-
we ought to mention, actually, because this is a new video. We are drinking Tonewood Brewing, which is made in New Jersey. It is Parkway to Paradise Pilsner. 5.4%. It's pretty good, actually.
It is. It's quite good. Yes.
I'd say it's going down quite easy. Which,
It's actually quite good. Yes. Okay. Well, the number, I guess, if I'm ranking them top, would be Thunderbolts.
oh, wait, no, we have to go bottom up. Bottom up.
Oh, bottom up.
Yeah.
Well, then I just gave them a little bit. Okay. Oh, you're gonna edit that, maybe? Hopefully.
No.
Oh,
Raw, uncensored Jen here.
uncensored. Oh Lord.
You
Okay.
just explained in great
I'm
detail.
sorry.
like,
Well, you could just
how
guys.
you would fudge all of the MCU characters in the previous one. Iron Man with his special features on his suit.
Yes. All right.
Crush Star-Lord to death with your thighs, I believe. Yes, right. So,
Poison was mentioned at some point, but okay. So I guess at the bottom would have to be Captain America. I felt that was just very. I love Anthony Mackie, and I love the idea. I think though, his character's journey was so much more riveting in Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Yep.
I think it was actually. To be honest with you, I forget that that's a show sometimes. It is so well done and so detailed and in-depth with both of their characters that it feels like a movie. But I guess there was so much to tell that it had to be, a series. But the movie, oh man, the movie fell short. And also, I think we waited so long
yeah.
for a Marvel movie with the writer's strike and everything that I don't know if they, rushed it to come out. I don't know what happened, but to me, it just was.
They had a lot of rewrites, I know, and reshoots, and I think, to me, a lot of it was, you had these scenes that didn't quite seem like they fit together, and there was a lot of Anthony Mackie standing there talking to, I don't know, what was the bad guy's name?
It started bubbling up. That's all.
Yeah, but it was
Proven point.
I think they rewrote it so much that they kind of like sucked all of the life and cohesiveness together, and he didn't have a right arc, and it's nothing to do with Anthony Mackie, who I think is brilliant, and I think is Captain America. It just wasn't a great movie.
Yeah, I agree. I think the show really hit a lot of good points when it came to race relations, and when it came to, I think when we were watching it, I said, "Oh my gosh, that's Isaiah,"
Yeah.
and I don't even think it did him justice. Like
No.
I think it just missed on so many great opportunities. I don't know. It felt rushed. It felt put together last minute. I just wasn't into it.
I saw a like behind the scenes picture of Isaiah in his 1970s Captain America outfit, and I'm like, why didn't we get to see that?
Yeah, that would have been
cool.
amazing.
Yeah.
Now, do I think it was a bad movie? I don't think it was a bad movie. I just, you know, I was happy to get it because I was like, oh, Marvel, you know, Marvel movie. So I was happy to get it. I remember leaving the theater being like, yay, but then I was like, yay, you know, like it just wasn't, it didn't hit, you know. So that would be my number 5.
Okay, so number 4, where are we?
All right, so remind me what we have. We have
Daredevil Born Again, we have the Thunderbolts, we have Ironheart, and we have the Fantastic Four.
Oh, this is tough. I don't think they're gonna I don't know if they're gonna agree with me, honestly.
You can say it, come on, break some hearts.
I feel very conflicted. Ooh. All right, I'm gonna have to say number 4 was Fantastic Four.
I think I would agree with you.
Really?
Yeah, I think I would.
Really?
I loved the movie theoretically, but as I was watching it, I was kind of like, there wasn't enough tension. I never, to me, yeah, it kind of lacked that, oh my god, are they actually going to make it?
Well, here's the thing. There were several things that I was lacking in that movie. There were, first of all, there were several things I thought were gonna happen and didn't, right? For example, like a tie-in with Thunderbolts, which we'll talk about after, right? Yep. There was a lot of times where comedic relief was needed and it didn't come, you know, and you have some major actors that are very, very humorous, right? You have Pedro Pascal, who's hugely
on Saturday
comedic.
Night Live.
Oh my gosh, he's a mastermind. I don't think he said one funny thing the entire time. Okay, fine. I mean, he's also the show.
Mandalorian.
Well, yes.
He's
The
in
Best
everything.
of Us. That's what I was thinking, and which is very serious, and I get it. So I know he's an amazing actor, and he is, you know, spreading his wings, and he's showing all his different, you know, acting skills. I get that. You also have oh my gosh, now I'm gonna forget the names. You have the other two men.
Yeah.
The one who played in The Punisher. He was actually in The Punisher. He's in The Bear also. Eban.
Yeah.
He's hilarious, and actually I think he probably made me laugh the most in it.
I thought he was a really sweet character as well.
He was sweet, but he was also quite funny. He had like some little like nuanced lines that were really funny, which really goes with his character. I think in almost every role I've seen him in, it just kind of hit. And then you have the other actor who my daughter had to very fastly acknowledge that he was in Stranger Things.
He was Eddie in Stranger Things, wasn't he?
Yep. She had to say that immediately. He was actually quite good.
Yep.
He was funny. I don't know if he was Chris Evans level of funny from the original.
But that was a vibe, Chris Evans in like the 1990s.
It
Fantastic
was a vibe.
Four.
Kind of like you can't compare Jessica Alba to Vanessa Kirby kind of thing. I get it. But I also have a thing between, I know it was a different universe, but the whole past with the whole electronics and the whole technology. I have a thing about that. Like, if you're not Star Wars, don't do it, kind of thing.
That's kind of interesting, because I kind of dug, like, the retro futuristic thing.
I like the retro thing.
Yeah.
But then it was so reminiscent of our retro 1950s?
1960s kind
1960s era, right? But then you could go into space whenever you wanted to, and you could go into a wormhole whenever you wanted to, and, you know, we have a child seat with, like, you know, a force field. Like, I just
The child seat scene was the funniest moment, I will admit. Like, out of every single scene there where they were struggling to put this child seat in the Fantastic
Oh,
Car,
yeah, that was funny.
I was like, I can relate to this so much.
I think the men who didn't relate to the John Walker scene in Thunderbolts probably didn't relate to that scene. I'm just going to throw that out there.
Yeah, just you wait, fellas. Just you wait.
And if it's true what I'm saying, you need to self-reflect. Or get a divorce attorney. One of the two. Yeah, so I have an issue with that. I had an issue with like the lack of comedy.
Yeah.
I thought the actors were all brilliant. I had an issue with the post-credit scene, Kevin. And what was the other? Oh, and also if you think about the MCU in general, right, and the connections that it made, this is probably why it dropped down to 4 for me. And I'll explain for my number 3.
Okay, that's good. And the post-credit scene, spoiler alert, was Doctor Doom appearing.
That was the first. No,
Yeah.
that was. Yeah, I
the
guess that was.
first one?
I guess that was the first, right? Because
The second one was just the cartoon of.
that was the one that I have to
Yeah.
write a letter about.
Because I remember sitting in this movie theater with you, and we'd been there like 15 minutes going through everything, and my girlfriend and I were sitting there reading like, oh look, the second assistant direct grip was called Frank Herbert or whatever, and then.
Brain Castle. No.
And then we saw that last scene, and it was like, we waited all this time for that.
It was a long time to wait too, but the first one was cool because it was Doctor Doom, so that was cool.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert! I was like, oh wow. Yeah, but it didn't connect enough. I know it's laying found work, you know.
But I sometimes kind of get annoyed with films that are like. The films that seem to exist to lay groundwork for other films. So kind of like, be your own film.
I'm sorry, did I say found work instead of groundwork? I apologize. It's the beer. It's the beer.
Good job, Toadwood. That 5.4 is really working.
Groundwork.
Yes. Okay, so let's move on to number 3. And you see, you're more of a fan than me, so you've seen
Okay.
all
Yes.
these
So
two.
okay. So my number 3 is Ironheart.
Yeah.
Now I think he's going to change his mind after he finishes it, because I think the second half, so it's done in 6 episodes, 3 and 3. I think that the second half really opens it up to a lot of connections
Yeah. Interesting.
to where it wants to go
Yeah.
in the MCU. And we've seen tidbits of it. We've seen, the magical side. We've seen Wanda. We've seen Agatha. Fabulous.
Oh my god, I love that show.
Oh my gosh, fabulous. We've seen that. We've seen, he's got his cape that gives him powers, which is reminiscent of Moon Knight, which is another favorite of mine. I love Moon Knight. Oscar Isaac. Oh my god.
I was like, should I put Moon Knight into that Fuck, Marry, Kill that we were doing? And
Oh,
I was
you
like,
should have. I think.
Okay, next
oh,
time we'll have to have a
yeah.
rematch on that one.
That would have been. Ooh, he might have bumped Chris Evans. I'm not sure. I love him. Love. So there are even. I think it's difficult because you find that some of these female-led shows, and especially like minority female-led shows, are getting bombed in these reviews and this and that. Now, do I think it was the best Marvel show? No. Were there parts where I was like, I could, fast forward? Yes. But there were a lot of connections to a lot of different things that laid a lot of groundwork for future, and you could tell for future shows and future movies, it laid a lot of groundwork and it connected to past stuff. So I think that's why it edged Fantastic Four. And I'm not going to run it, but not to mention the last episode, the way it ended. First of all, you don't know how it's going to end. You really don't.
I love that though. I love watching things that you don't know how they're going to end. Because like Captain America: Brave New World, you kind of knew how it was going to end.
Right.
Yeah.
I think most of them you do.
Yeah.
This one you really didn't. In fact, my daughter and I were arguing about how it was going to end until they showed the credits.
Interesting.
And then I was like, I owe you $10.
Well, you make such an interesting point about like the female-led and the minority-led things, because they sat on Ironheart for like 2 years, and I think one of the problems with social media is the fact that there are so many people who tend to be like middle-aged white dudes who are like, oh, this show's going to suck, this show's woke, and they crap on a show before it ever comes out. And so Ironheart, like, I wasn't enthusiastic about watching it because I'd heard all these people say, like, negative things, and I sat down and watched the first episode, and I was like, this is brilliant. Like, Riri is a brilliant character. She's, like, really complex, and she screws up, and she makes mistakes. And I was like, this is one of the best things that I've seen Marvel do for a while.
Yeah, I agree with that. She's very human.
Yes.
And, you know, that's something that always appeals to me, as you know. That's something that always makes a character one of my favorites. But I think, you know, she's also like a virtuous character, and you see her kind of make those choices throughout. And you see her suffer throughout, you know, kind of like Wanda. Like, she suffers with grief.
Yes.
And you see that in her character arc, right? And it ends with I'm not gonna spoil it, but it ends with like a choice, and it's like you don't know what choice she's going to make, because it's a lot of times when you see some of these more human characters, it's, do you choose something that is beneficial to easing your grief, or is it beneficial to stick to your morality and your virtue? And that's kind of the debate, right? And you see certain characters go with one and certain characters go with another, and then that complicates them, and it makes it more complex and more, you know, diverse. So like that I think boosted it from Fantastic Four. And not only to mention that, but you see, you probably haven't seen it yet, Sacha Baron Cohen, his character is a huge nod to the original comics. Massive.
We thought Mephisto was coming for ages, and then, like, suddenly he's here.
Yeah, it's a massive connection to the comics, and you kind of see, and he does a fabulous acting job, but you see, you know, the connection he brings to where they might be going next. You see connections to, like, the people I said. You see Wanda, you see Moon Knight. So anyway, that's why I think if you compared the two, right, Fantastic Four had amazing advertisement, is a, you know, blockbuster film, this and that. But in my ranking, personally, it didn't do enough for me. We knew that multiverses existed. We knew other, you know, we knew all of that already. So to me, that wasn't new. If they had, like, maybe moved to another multiverse, perhaps. We already knew that the Celestials existed, right? Yep. So, like, that wasn't new. We already knew Celestials could be taken out. We already knew that with Guardians of the Galaxy. So, like, none of that was new. So, to me, Ironheart, regardless of what you know, how you politically view things or whatever, to me, it added a lot of connections, and it added a lot of, this could happen, and this could happen, and here's a whole new playing field of the magic world. And we've seen mythology, right?
Yep.
We've seen Nordic mythology, that's been long term, but we also just started seeing Greek mythology, right? With Hercules and Zeus.
And in Moon Knight, of course, you had
and Moon Knight and Egyptian, that exactly. So you see a lot of different elements coming in that just open so many avenues for the next couple.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Right, okay, so let's move on to number 2 now. We have
Oh no, I got you. Easy.
Okay.
Number 2, I have to, well, this is kind of biased of me, I'm sorry. It's Daredevil.
Well, no, I mean, you love Daredevil, which is
love Daredevil. Yeah. Love.
So, okay, you have 2 superheroes. One is a rich playboy billionaire, who, like, invents toys, swings from buildings, and does crazy stuff and fights villains just for that. The other one has lost his sight, so he uses echolocation to know where he's going. Which one do you think would be called Daredevil, and which one do you think would be called Batman? Because actually, when you think about it, it's kind of switched around.
It would definitely be switched around, for
yeah.
sure. So here would be, like, I guess, my lack of education on these things. Which came first?
Oh, I think Batman did. I think Daredevil was a 60s thing.
Okay, so then,
Yeah.
I guess that's a trademarking issue.
So I knew we had a lawyer.
I mean, Stan Lee probably was like, this guy should really be Batman or Dolphin Man, if anything, I don't know. But DC's got Aquaman and Batman, so we're going to have to go with Daredevil here. I don't know.
Dolphin Man, he kills people, but clubbing them to death with tuna.
Or with, echo sounds, with tuna. Jeez.
Okay, so number 2 is Daredevil, Born Again.
Wait, hold on. I got to explain that a little bit.
Yep.
Is this too long?
No. It's fine. As long as you remain interesting. Why?
Then too long. I'm not as...
No, okay, so explain.
Okay. Daredevil Part 1, because there's a second part releasing. Well, first of all, I'm a huge Daredevil fanatic. Definitely one of my top 5 Marvel characters of all time. Love. Thank you.
And you love him because he's a moral person. He's a Catholic. He's very grounded.
All of those reasons, yeah. He has this conflicting origin story of being, having one parent. I'm not going to spoil anything. One parent of a boxer, right?
Yep.
And so raised super Catholic, but then is known to box, right? And known to fight. And he suffers between those two kind of identities. And his father never wanted him to do that. And his father ends up dying.
Well, no, I mean, I think this is classic Daredevil.
Just making sure.
Backstory.
Oh my gosh.
If you know Daredevil, you know that his dad was a boxer, and didn't he was going to throw a fight or something?
He was going to throw a fight, and he didn't, so then he got killed,
Yeah.
So kind of all these, this is what I love, is complex, real characters,
Yeah.
So the thing about Matt Murdock is that he's constantly conflicted, right? He's constantly conflicted between what he knows is moral and right and just versus his need to play God, basically. That's in a nutshell. And if you watch the original Daredevil series from Netflix, right, you will see that he is constantly conflicted with his religion and his spirituality. I don't really like to say religion because sometimes mosquito almost got you. I killed it though.
Well, mosquitoes love me.
It was a huge one though, honestly.
Well, maybe he was thirsty. Oh, no.
Well, if you see one, you better. No, that's a beauty mark. He's constantly conflicted with his spirituality, which is, in Catholicism, only God can pass judgment. Regardless of how people act in real life, only God can pass judgment, right? So he's conflicted between that and passing judgment himself because he sees no one else is going to do it. So in the new series, which they had to rewrite, apparently, because people were not thrilled with it, they included the original actors and the original characters, and they kind of added a layer to it, which I thought was smart, honestly. A layer of nostalgia of these characters and why it kind of propels him forward into first he gives it up, and then later he kind of takes it up again because he sees that justice is not being served, and it's kind of a means of necessity, not a means to an end, but a means of necessity. He needs to do this in the moment, so he snaps and does. And this is not the first time he's done it before, but maybe I would think that the writers kind of put that in because that moment in the originals when he wasn't gonna, he had done that already. He said, I'm not going to be Daredevil anymore, and then he has to because someone's at risk, and then the new one does the same thing. So in both, it's yes, it gives the viewer get him, In the new one, I think it goes kind of a little more intense with it, but regardless, it gets my number 2 spot because it brings back this character that they brought from a different network into the MCU. They didn't change it up like they did with like the Hulk and they did with Spider-Man. They didn't change it up. They didn't do any of that. And he really does remain kind of the same classic character, really. And he maintains everything about him that everybody loves. Now, one part about it was, and it might have been because of the writer's strike, but some of the fight scenes seemed a little bit, to me, seemed a little bit too CGI kind of, you know? Now, I know Charlie Cox does a lot of his own fight scenes, you know. I think they were trying, I don't know if you know this, but in the Netflix series they did the prison scene. That's like a very famous scene.
The corridor scene, yeah, that's like iconic.
Yeah. Well, they had one corridor scene in the beginning.
Yeah.
And that's where he's fighting all like kind of, you know, the bad guys and this and that, and it looks like it's one shot and this and that. But he also has a prison scene.
Is that the one with Kingpin?
No. Well, Kingpin orchestrated it.
Yeah.
But he's not in it. And that was, it's not done in one shot, regardless of what people think. They said that there were, you know, little breaks here and there. They practiced that though for days, and it is one of the most amazing fight scenes. And the breaks that they did do were minimal.
Yeah.
You know, like it's an amazing scene, amazing. So I think that they were trying to do that, and I think Disney and Marvel were trying so hard to kind of recreate that they kind of like lost sight of why that was so amazing, you know? So, anyway, my husband, who has seen it, well, he didn't finish it, which I'm very angry at him because he's made me watch.
Yeah, Carl.
Yes.
I'll bleep that. So
that's all right. You can say his name. I mean, yeah. Because he's made me watch what's that show on Apple TV with when they go down and they change their brain. I forget the name of the show. It's all the rage on Apple. You've never seen this?
No.
Really?
No. They go down and change their brains?
Yes! That's exactly what it is. I know it sounds really weird. Oh my goodness, what is the guy's name? The main guy. Okay, they go down an elevator and as soon as they hit a certain floor, their brains change.
Oh wait, I think I have. Is that the one where they go into the office and they've got like insy and outsy?
Yes.
I have. What is that called? Severance, isn't it?
Yes, Severance. Yeah. Severance. Yes.
I've heard of the concept of that, which is kind of cool.
So he's made me watch all of Severance, which is fabulous, but it's depressing, and he still hasn't finished the first half of the new Daredevil season.
That's outrageous.
Outrageous and unfair. But he fell in love with the first few episodes because he found it very much reflective of our political landscape. And that is all I will say, because I'm not going to get political. And
that's interesting though. Just like, what have we got there?
I told you what I was afraid of, yes.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my gosh, if you wave it on and it stings me,
I'm
going to go back to therapy for another 5 months.
It's okay, your therapist gives me a kickback.
You get a commission? Let's see how much you can mess up Jen. Alright.
Right, okay. That was a very good one. So now we're down to number one spot, which only leaves the Thunderbolts. Which I thought was an amazing, amazing movie. I loved it.
Thunderbolts it underperformed.
I think everything underperformed this year. So, and I almost kind of think that doesn't. I think with Captain America it was kind of reflective of like the mistakes they made with that. But I think the Thunderbolts was one of the best Marvel movies I've ever seen.
I agree. I think. Well, they said that it recouped a lot of its money when it went to streaming. I think that we just became a streaming, I
think maybe people weren't going to leave their house to go and see it because they were like, oh, I don't know any of these characters, and it's but the movie was brilliant.
I mean, to your point, have we ever seen a movie not on a discount Tuesday?
True. That's very true, actually. Yeah.
Because, I mean, nowadays, it's
I think, yeah, Thunderbolts is already in streaming, isn't it?
it's in streaming, but like it's also really expensive to go to the theaters. And I mean, I really think people should go to the theaters. I think that that's an experience everyone should enjoy, especially if they really believe in the movie and they want to see the movie. And I think,
but yeah, you take your 5 kids to a movie on a regular day and get everyone popcorn and everyone a drink.
$200.
Yeah. I mean, it literally is. It literally is.
Yeah. Thunderbolts is my number one for, like, hands down, not even a question. Yeah, no, I have seen it at least a dozen times, twice in theaters. Then well, I hope my husband doesn't watch this, but I bought it, even though he, like, you know, whatever. I bought it, so I've, like, watched it.
Has he ever paid money for WWE streamings or pay-per-views?
We have Peacock and stuff like that, so,
okay.
Yes. This is live, like, I don't know what you're trying to do. But, Thunderbolts is amazing. Now, there are a few, listen, I'll admit shortcomings. I admit shortcomings to everything. There are a few moments in that movie that are just so obvious. It's like, you know, it's like an eye roll moment, you know, when they're trying to all, like, lift the rock and everyone's like, oh, I got it, and I got it. Yes, that's very corny and very obvious. Like, yes, teamwork, wow, we get it. That's not what makes that film amazing. What makes that film amazing is the psychology behind the film, right? And if anyone has seen Inside Out 2, it's very similar, but this one deals with depression and the other one deals with anxiety. And regardless of the two, it's not something you can just kind of throw in the back burner or compartmentalize or ignore or not think about.
Or fight.
Yeah. Or not talk about.
Mm-hmm.
Which is something a lot of us do, including me. It's something that you need to talk about. And it's something you need to work through, not against. And that's what gets you through. So, not to, like, spoil, you know, the movie or the end of the movie or anything like that, but I think it was such a great reflection on mental health and psychology. My therapist personally has put it on her list of things that she's going to watch. I'm like, you better watch it because it's really good. It's everything you're telling me to do. But all the characters do a fabulous job. I think probably that's what made, you know, John Walker get spared from the, you know, marry, kill, or fudge.
Yeah.
If it weren't for that, I probably would have fudged him. Like, seriously. I mean, no, killed him, not fudged him. Killed him.
That was a Freudian slip right there. I would have fudged him all.
You know who his mother is, by the way? Kate Hudson. Not Kate Hudson.
No,
that's his sister.
Kurt Russell's son.
Yes, Kurt Russell and Goldie Hawn. That's his mother.
It's like two of the most beautiful people, and then you get him.
Kate Hudson is his sister, his half sister. I think half sister. Again, third beer. So, but yes.
No, I thought it was brilliant, and I loved the message at the end, which was, you know, you can't fight it.
I remember in theaters, and I think that I remember in theaters we were watching it. I don't want to ruin anything for anybody, but we were watching it, and, you know, they're saving, you know, they're like what? Like, not even, you know, B-list celebrities. They're in the movie, they're considered like D-list. Like, they're not even, and so they're saving everybody from, you know, all this happening in New York City. And you know, because it's at the old Avengers compound, which is in New York City, and everything's falling and everybody's at risk always, you know, in every hero movie. And the Red Guardian, whom forget it, I love.
Yeah.
Love. You should have added him to the game.
Actually, yeah.
You should have added him, because that would have made things very, very difficult for me, because I love him. David Harbour. Oh my goodness. Oh, soft spot right here. Anyway, he saves this little girl, tiny little girl. She's so pretty, and she's so happy when he saves her, and then she disappears. I remember
I was like,
you let out such a loud gasp, and I think you said, "Oh my goodness!"
Well, out of all of the characters in that I related to the Red Guardian the most.
Did you?
And I think it's because, you know, okay, maybe your dad's kind of embarrassing, but like he loves you, and that was that speech with Yelena where he's just like, no, I love you. I look at you and I think you're perfect. And it's like, that's how parents look at their daughters. That's how parents look at their kids. And I related to that. Which, like the John Walker scene with him doom scrolling and the baby, that made me uncomfortable. I don't like I think that's what men like feel uncomfortable about. But that scene where Red Guardian, you know, he just doesn't care that he's a joke. Everyone thinks he's a joke. He's just this fat guy in this suit driving the Lincoln Town car, which I used to have a Lincoln Town. I don't know.
Santa.
Yeah, Santa and stuff. But it was just so authentic. Like, I look at you, I don't see mistakes. I see, and it's like that was such a sweet moment. And yeah, so I relate to him. And then when he saves that little girl, and you're like, oh my god, look at you! You're finally the hero you want to be, and she just vanishes. I was just like,
he had a literal response at the theater. He went, "Oh my gosh!"
But that's why it's the number one movie, because it's like, out of everything that Marvel has produced this year, that was the one time where I was like, oh my god.
Yeah.
Well, so.
Yeah, and then, you know, like, you know, I don't know whoever's watching if they've seen it, but, you know, then whomever gets vanished, right, by the Void, goes through these dark periods of their life, like constantly.
But they're like
dark.
Caught in them, aren't they?
Right, and they're like rooms, right? If you realize that they're rooms, some of them don't realize that they're rooms and they just get stuck in one, right? But if you realize they're rooms and you go through one, and then you get stuck in another dark memory. So it's all these like darkest memories of your life. And what's interesting is, and this is why it's number one for me, is it's not about escaping those rooms. It's about acknowledging that they're there and working through them. And at the end, it's to realize that not fighting those feelings, but working through them with the help of others is what gets you through and what saves you at the end. And that's what I thought was so deep and so moving, that I have seen that movie so many times, and every time I see it, like something new comes to me. I just love it. But Florence
Pugh,
she is hands down one of my favorite actresses. However, you know, now it's not PC to say.
She would be one of my hear me outs, but you don't need to do the hear me out part.
Oh no, she's a hear me out too. Forget it. No. She's so fabulous. Like amazing. It's so underrated. She should have probably won an Oscar already. Like honestly, I love her. Love. She does such a great job in that movie. I love her. Anyway.
So there we go. We've got our 5 rankings. We have, out of everything that Marvel has produced this year, coming in number 5, Captain America, New World Order. Sorry, Sam. Matthew Mackie, you deserve better than that. Then we have Fantastic Four, which, then we've got Ironheart. Then
Neighbor.
Then we have Daredevil, Born Again, and finally we have the Thunderbolts. I totally 100% agree with your ranking.
Do you?
Yep.
Really?
Yep. can't argue with that.
I thought you were gonna have some sort of disagreement.
Oh, just because I'm disagreeable.
No, you're not.
But okay, right. Well, that is our rankings for those things. I think we did a great job there.
You need to finish Ironheart.
I will do. And
I think you will fully understand my stance.
I don't know. I might call you up and be like, I've changed my orders now.
No. Definitely
Okay.
not.
Right. Okay. We'll be back with another video very soon. I can't salute in a hat because it.
If you like me in the videos. If not, I will just go back to my rock.